Super Rugby round number 2, folks. My Blues have gotten off the mark. The Crusaders took a big old hiding from the Brumbies, and the Hurricanes got their campaign underway. Let's go through the results pretty quick at the weekend. What are the standings looking like, the upcoming fixtures, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. We started with the Canes hosting Moana Pacifica. I've written expected smashing because it was an expected smashing. At least from my end, I thought the Moana guys would probably struggle with 7 debutants in that game. Hurricanes, there was maybe a small chance that they would come out of the blocks a little bit rusty, having sat on the bye in round 1. And they did go behind. Tuitama got the early try for Moana, but that was the end of the scoring for them in terms of tries. It's all the Hurricanes. Whinianganofo got his first of 2. Could have had 3 if he'd not gifted one to Morby. Morby ended up getting 3. Yosei got 1. Proctor got 1. It was an absolute smashing. Good to see Geordie Barrett back in New Zealand and playing for the Canes. The worst part is Brett Cameron took another seemingly serious leg injury after missing so much of last season injured. That is absolutely sickening for Brett Cameron. So he's just got terrible luck. I really feel for that guy. Warner Dearns has got his debut. Lineout was a little bit shaky at first, but he ended up making 14 tackles, so good to see him in NZ as well. Stats don't make pretty reading for Moana. 18 line breaks to 6. 34 missed tackles to 10. Moana's on the wrong side of both of those stats. So, yeah, 1 loss, 1 win for Moana, and Hurricanes off to, apart from the Cameron injury, pretty much a perfect start with a bonus point win. Second one, the Drua lose on the road. Surprise, surprise. It was close at half-time. Like, the score was 14-10 in the first half, but the Drua don't win on the roads. It's 22-3 in the second, so it finishes 36-13 to the Tars, the expected win. The Drua just can't win on the road. Like, to say their away form is poor is putting it mildly. It's just, they need to win on the road somewhere to get this monkey off their back. I don't know what it is. Is it psychological? Is it literally the weather conditions are just so much different in Fiji? I don't get it, but they're not good on the road. Moana. The Waratahs had 65% possession and 61% territory in the second half. The first half was a lot more even. The Drua just don't play well in the second half. Maybe that's not giving the Tars enough credit. The Tars kind of did it to the Reds the week before. They grew into the game and got dominance throughout the game, so maybe that's what the Waratahs are doing. They wear you out, and by the end, like, they scored 2 tries in the last 10 minutes again. So I think last week it was 3. Maybe that's just not giving the Tars enough credit. Jorgensen's fantastic. He's unbelievable. He's worth the price of admission. His footwork to step the Drua winger, unbelievable. So he's a fun player to watch. If you want to watch a Super Rugby team which has got some entertainment about it, you could do worse than watching the Tars right now. Also some good grunt work like Matt Phillip, 11 tackles from him. Hetet for the Drua made like 12, 13. So, yeah. But the Drua are lost on the road. And the Tars are 2 from 2. So, good start for them. The Drua are almost bottom of the log, but for the Force. The Highlanders and the Chiefs, that's one of the better games of the week. I don't know if you can call it the game of your week, given you had a massive upset last. That's probably the game of the week. But the Highlanders-Chiefs was pretty good, 26-23. I don't think Jamie will be happy, Jamie Joseph, the Highlanders coach, because they gave away one really soft try from just a misfiring lineout. After defending for so long against the Chiefs, they just gave up the 3 points, more or less. Tokyo did well to pounce on a loose lineout ball from the Highlanders, but... And then there was one try that the Chiefs again took a bit of the old nous. Quick play, goal line dropout. Right after the Highlanders had come within like an inch of scoring. Goal line dropout to the Chiefs. Quick play. And they kind of catch the Highlanders napping. So, yeah, I don't think the Highlanders will be too happy with a couple of those tries scored. The others were just maul tries from the Chiefs, man. The Chiefs have got a good old maul. So, despite the Highlanders' flying start... And Tangitau's got absolute lightning pace. Like, he's another one that's worth the price of admission. Tangitau's pure speed. Scores a hell of a try. Gets an assist for the Highlanders first. But that penultimate try in the game where Tangitau scores, if you have not seen it, you have to watch it. Just the gap. He just lightning goes through. It's unbelievable. Guys, fun to watch as well. Losing bonus point for the Landers, but as I said, I don't think they'll be too happy. Missed conversions, could have had it closer again. Not conceding a soft line-out try, they could have had the win. I guess ifs, buts, and maybes, they still lost. And like I said, the Chiefs, man, they got a good maul. They got smart players. They got a good team. They had guys out for this one. It wasn't their normal 9-10 combo from last year, so yeah, the Chiefs are looking a good team. They're 2-2. Blues and Brumbies. Blues and Brumbies, I wish. Blues and Force. We got the Brumbies next, the Blues, which doesn't look promising. The Blues went to Perth to play the Force. They didn't play their usual ground. It was some suburban, kind of more club ground feeling. So the camera angle was a little bit different from normal. It looked a little bit lower if it felt off. I think that's a bit kind of probably why. It was good to see some of the injury boys back. Like Harry Johnson-Holmes, who's missed a lot of rugby. He scored a try. I know he played last week, but he scored a try. Stephen Perofeta got one for the Blues. So some guys who've missed a lot of rugby in recent times getting on the scoreboard is really pleasing to see. It's another one where it's close at halftime. It's 17-14 to the Force at halftime. Like they'd kicked a nice 50-22. It led to a bit of field position and Tizano going over for the Force. But in the second half, the Blues go 3 tries. And in response, the Force have just got the 1 penalty. So the Blues really took the game away from the Force. There was a bit of an exchange of tries towards the end, which got the Force back a bit closer. So it was kind of a 10-point deficit instead of 15. But yeah, the Blues off the mark after losing in round 1 to the Chiefs. So clean break 7-4 to the Blues. I guess that makes kind of sense. The Force had a lot more carries though, so the Blues had to do a lot of tackling. But yeah, I don't think either side will be happy with the amount of points they conceded, to be fair. Tizano had 14 carries, Sullivan 82 metres and a try. So, yeah, Force a none from 2, which has not been a great start to their season. And then there's what has to be the game of the week. I don't mean to just pick game of the week when the Crusaders lose, but this is like a once in a apparently 26-year occurrence because the Brumbies don't win down in Christchurch, and certainly not by 50 points to 24. James Slipper's 200th game. This is a historic win. This just doesn't happen. That's why I'm going to say this one's the game of the week, just because of the shock value of it. It just doesn't happen. Like, I think the Blues have got the Brumbies next, and then I think we've got the Crusaders. It would not surprise me if both these teams walloped my Blues, but the Crusaders took a walloping down in Christchurch. 50 points to 24. There was a little bit of wind in this game at the Brumbies back, and they had like a 5-point lead, 19-14 at halftime. The Crusaders had been remarkably efficient in the first half to score 2 tries despite having almost no territory. So I was certain, I would have put money on it. The Crusaders are going to steamroll them in the second half with the wind at their backs, but it did not happen. It was 5 tries to 2 in the second half for a Brumbies bonus point win. Territory finished 63-37, so the Brumbies actually had a bit less territory in the second half than they did the first. First half was like 85-15 or something stupid. That's how bad the wind was. But, I mean, Valentini, 20 carries. Charlie Carroll, 16 carries. Muirhead, 9 defenders beaten. All these guys stood up. Crusaders are none from 2, which not many people would have seen coming. That is a crazy, crazy great win. James Slipper got a try in that game as well in the first half. What a way to celebrate your 200th. I did not see that coming. I thought maybe it'd be a good game. I thought the Brumbies, like I said, leading at halftime, give it a good crack, but I thought the red and black steamroller would get going, but it just never eventuated. Standings after 2 rounds, Brumbies and New South Wales Waratahs 1 and 2, so it's all Aussies to start with. Those sides are both 2 from 2. The Chiefs are in third, also 2 from 2. Then we get the other sides who've got the 1 win. The Hurricanes have got 1 win. They are behind the other teams in terms of games played, having sat on the bye in the round 1. Blues are 1-1 in 5th, and the Highlanders are 1-1 in 6th. Moana has also got 1-1 in 7th, but they took a bit of a walloping, which wasn't good for their points difference. Crusaders haven't had a win yet in 8th. Reds sat on the bye, also haven't had a win yet in 9th. Drua and Force are both none from 2 in 10th and 11th. Round 3 fixtures. Moana is hosting the Force, so be a chance for the Force to get a win on the road, but Moana likely bring back a squad which is closer to their round 1 squad, which won over the Drua, so it'll be a tough ask. Reds host the Highlanders. Reds will have had a week to sit, so we'll see if they can formulate a plan to take down the Highlanders, who've been dangerous in both their games. The Drua will host the Hurricanes. Fiji is always a tougher place to go, so we'll see if they can make it a fortress. They are none from 2, like I said, and the Chiefs will take on the Crusaders. The Crusaders still hunting their first win with an away trip to Hamilton is tougher than the Brumbies and the Blues. After seeing what the Brumbies just did to the Crusaders, doesn't fill me with confidence, but hey, who would have guessed some of these results prior to the round? Fingers crossed it is an entertaining one for round number 3. You guys let us know your thoughts on the round. What was your favourite game? Predictions for round 3. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, folks. Take care. Talk to you guys again soon. See you later.